Did you know that you can determine if a website is bad or malicious even before you click on that link? Well, you can. And in today's video, we're going to have a discussion about how to determine if a website is bad even before you click on that link. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to Struggle Security, where we are normalizing struggling in cybersecurity. And today, we're going to be talking about a crucial topic that goes into browsing the internet or the World Wide Web. And it's going to be how to determine if a website is malicious or not before clicking on that link. The internet is a vast place, a very vast digital ecosystem where it can be used for a lot of good, where we have seen, right? You're probably viewing this video because of something that you see on the internet, but also at the same time, you can be exposed to risks such as phishing scams and malware downloads. But there are some things that you can do to protect yourself against these things. Why is this important to you? One, like I mentioned just now, you can protect yourself against some of these risks like phishing emails and malware downloads. But two, for potential cybersecurity practitioners like yourself, understanding how to evaluate a website for potential security risk is a fundamental skill for newer cybersecurity practitioners. So it's something that can be used to arm yourself for the cybersecurity field. That's something that you can build up upon, right? Understanding if something is malicious, but then the next step would be something like doing email analysis or email forensics. That would be probably the logical next step here. But let's stick to the topic of determining if a website is malicious before even clicking that link. So the first thing that you want to do is take a look at the website. Take a look at what that link is. You always want to inspect it for, I would say, two things primarily. Number one, you want to see https://www. Why do I say HTTPS? It's because HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, but that S stands for secure. So if you see something that says www or HTTP://, that's somewhere where you don't want to click, or that's a link that you don't want to go to. But when you see that S, and many times that S is accompanied with like a green lock sign, that means that there is a secure website, something that is using encryption or encrypting your communications across the internet. So you want to look for first HTTPS, and also that green lock button on many of the internet websites or internet browsers. That helps you to say that, hey, I'm having a secure communication line here on the internet. The second thing that you want to look at or look for are typos. Many times that there is a method that malicious actors use called typo squatting, which is pretty much buying a domain for a website that might have a spelling error in there in somewhere. So say for instance, someone is looking for google.com. Someone who is malicious might purchase the domain for www.google, but with 3 O in the middle or 3 O's, google.com. And that might lead to their malicious domain rather than the real google.com. Lucky for us, Google has purchased so many of the typos for google.com, but this might apply to other websites. So the second thing that I'm saying is to look at the typos or look at the spelling within the URL or that particular web link. The second thing that I want to go to, or the second thing that we're going to look at, are tools, online tooling that will help us in order to determine if something is malicious. Now, the value of these tools is that you are not executing any, or you're not actually clicking on the link, but you're taking that URL, that website, copying and pasting it into these tools online. And the tools are doing all the analysis to tell you if something is malicious or not. Now, I do advise you to use multiple tools, so we'll go over 3 today. The first one will be urlscan.io, and let's go to that example right now. So here, as you can see, I've navigated to my spam folder on one of my Gmail accounts. As you can see, this is a title, said congrats, this is my email. You're the winner of a brand new 170-piece Stanley toolset. Who wouldn't want to win a 170-piece Stanley toolset? Let's take a look at this. So as I'm scrolling here, one thing that you're noticing, one is that it pops up in the spam folder. It doesn't come up in my regular inbox. Another thing that a lot of this looks kind of funny. It just looks funny as I'm scrolling here. I'm able to click on a lot of this type of information, but let's go ahead and right click on it. We want to make sure that we right click on it. And I have a Mac, and even if you have a Windows machine, you should have the capability to copy the link address or just copy the link address there. Then we want to go to our tool, our urlscan.io, which is a great tool where you can what you call sandbox, or pretty much place this website, run it in a protected environment that's not on your local machine, where it won't affect you if there is a malicious website on the other end of this link. So right now I'm going to paste that into this area, and wow, this looks crazy. This looks crazy. So HTTPS storage.googleapis.com trap or OU. This already looks pretty wild with how many characters are here and some of the randomized characters. Let's go ahead and scan it and see what we get. So it might take a couple of seconds, it might take a couple of minutes, but you just go ahead and wait, and then we'll see what the results are here. And now, as you can see from the page, what pops up here? It says malicious activity, malicious activity. And then it even goes even further to say potentially malicious activity. You don't even have to drill down into all the details of what this website brings up. But one thing that's important to know is when you see that red, do not click. When you see that red, do not click. Another maybe important feature that you might want to see is here to the right. It actually gives a screenshot of what the landing page looks like once you click that link. So you can click here, full image, and this is what it looks like. I don't speak this particular language. I don't know this flag, but this is not something that's local to my language, and it's not something that I would be interested in. And it doesn't even tell me about my 170-piece link or my 170-piece, what is that, tool set. So this is a complete malicious site. And like it says here, malicious activity, potentially malicious, and this is the landing page for it. Do not click. That is the URL scan.io, and I'll have that in the description section. So next we're going to go to the tool called brightcloud.com. And that's like a threat intelligence tool, and we're going to take a look and do a small little demo right now. Let's go. This is another tool that we have here. It's called Bright Cloud Threat Intelligence. And one thing that it also does is very similar to urlscan.io, but I think that it's always good to double check with multiple tools about if something is malicious or not, or if you just don't know. So if one tool says it's good, another tool might say it's bad. It still might be best that you lean on the side of not clicking on that particular link. Let's take a look at this website. Some things that it says that it does is that enter a URL or IP address, and that's the area that you enter it in, to view threat, content, and reputation analysis, right? A couple of things that it shows here is that it will view a summary of the URL data, including category, reputation score, and influences, and basic whois information. Whois is another command line tool that we can possibly look at in the future. Another thing that it does for IP address data, it collects threat status and analysis geographic location, which is very important. America has a lot of threat actors, whether it's Russia or whether it's North Korea. And the thing about it is that if you're receiving phishing emails from Russia or North Korea, this might be a very helpful tool to help you decipher if this is something that you want to click or not. And again, like it mentions, this is all off of your own machine, virtually hosted domains on the IP address. So that's one thing that's very important, that it's not executed on your own machine. So let's go ahead and paste that same link that we looked at before. No, I am not a robot. Oh, it wants to tell me about the crosswalks. Need to click on all the crosswalk areas, verify that I am not a robot. Looks good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and look this thing up. Oh, and that one is very quick there, right? So one thing that it mentions here, right? Look at where this is, right? This is in the red. This pretty much is telling you to not click, not click. Web reputation influences impact. It says 584 infections in the past 12 months. 584 infections. So this again came from a spam email that I got in my email box, right? These things are very close to you. So it gives very basic and pretty pointed type of information. And it mentions the web category is that it's a phishing and other frauds type of website. So we looked at two sources, urlscan.io, and we also looked at this website, which is Bright Cloud Threat Intelligence, which pretty much says, they said the same thing, to do not click that link. Do not click that link. And now the third tool that we're going to finish it out with is the VirusTotal tool. VirusTotal, very common tool amongst security practitioners. And let's go to that demo right now of how to use that tool. Now we're going to look at one more tool. It's called VirusTotal. It's very common amongst cybersecurity professionals, typically in the form of like SOC analysts, security operations center analysts, or SOC people or incident response individuals. VirusTotal is a very common tool that many of us use in order to figure out where the bad is, whether in file systems, in websites, in URLs. You can put in hashes, you can put in all types of things in VirusTotal to be able to understand if something is bad or not, malicious or not, or in this case, to see if this is a phishing email. So here, this is the website, the landing page for VirusTotal. And as you see, I click on the URL tab here. So when we zoom in a little bit more, I'm going to take in that same website, right, that we've been putting into the other two websites to be able to determine if it's something malicious. Right now, we're getting malicious across the board, but let's see what VirusTotal tells us. And here, VirusTotal is saying, hey, listen, 10 security vendors flag this URL as malicious. It's tagging it as malicious. So what it does is that it throws it through all different types of threat intelligence feeds, antivirus feeds, and these are able to tell you whether these tools have found this as something malicious. Many times when individuals have been hacked or bad things have happened, intrusions, they report them to these threat intelligence feeds, or they are reported through certain tools. So that's one thing that's very important, is that as you see, VirusTotal is recognizing that Bitdefender, ESET, and Fortinet, and all these others, some of them mention them as clean. That's why it throws it through several other tools. So some of them says that they're clean, but we're seeing pretty much across the board that if you see anything that says that it's malicious, some says malicious, specifically phishing, then you want to stay away from clicking that. You want to stay away from clicking that. You can even click on the community tab here, where it looks like it's some recent stuff, right? That 26 days ago, someone mentioned it. Serious Hoax, I don't know, 2 months ago mentioned it, that it was something malicious. So these are kind of like a voting from a kind of like a community perspective of individuals who have submitted this to VirusTotal. So again, pretty bad here, pretty bad. This is considered to be phishing or any other type of fraud. So that's another one. VirusTotal is another one that is able to tell us whether something is malicious or not by you not even having to click on the link. I hope those demonstrations have been very helpful for you. The 2 steps that I focused on here were, one is to first look at what that website is, evaluate it, make sure there's a HTTPS there, but also make sure that there are no spelling errors within the URL or the website link. And the second one is utilizing tools that don't execute anything on your home computer. You're pretty much copying and pasting whatever malicious link or whatever potentially malicious link into some of those tools and being able to evaluate if there is harm there. Hopefully this has been valuable to you, and come back again for more and more of this type of content where this is Struggle Security, and we are normalizing struggling in cybersecurity, and hopefully this has alleviated one of your struggles in evaluating websites before you even click them. Thanks.